Guys, please make sure to watch this video all the way to the end before jumping into the comments. I promise, everything connects, and it'll all make sense once you've seen the full thing. It gets a little frustrating when people comment out of context just because they didn't finish watching. So take your time, enjoy the video, and then let's chat. Remember to watch the ads without skipping. Thank you. So, lately, my eyes have constantly been fed with so many details about WooJae and JiJaeyeon ship. It keeps popping up on my timeline, because nothing about Jimin and JiJaeyeon seems to exist out there, hahaha. And I'm not even kidding when I tell you my eyes are pregnant just watching and reading comments about WooJaeYeon couple. OMG. Their ship is getting sweeter day by day and it makes my heart melt. After my last video on episode 5 recap was posted, my ever-engaging friend and a good commenter on my channel, Random Heart, suddenly called my attention to their social media updates, to confirm that WooJae and JiJaeyeon are actually an endgame couple, and boy was I glad she did. She also mentioned some whispers floating around, something about WooJae in his black hoodie and JiJaeyeon in a red hat, with both in casual outfits looking at peach blossoms, implying that they were in the same location after they were done shooting. Bro, how do people come up with this theories? Laughing my flat ass off, lol. My dear Random, you know I love you, right? So after reading your comment, I decided to go on Instagram with an open mind, and be ready to confirm WooJae and Jane's ship, because after watching episode 5, there is no way Jimin could still win Jaeyeon's heart, right? Or so I thought, OMG. But bro, when I landed the social media streets, what struck me was unimaginable. The realization that Jimin and Jane can actually become the final couple stood out to me even more, that I almost collapsed, hahaha. Quick little disclaimer before y'all come for me, I'm not officially shipping anyone yet. I always refuse to ship unless I feel a genuine two-way connection. It's been that way since forever, but Heart Signal 4 made it law on this channel. If you were with me back then, you know the emotional trauma many of us went through, lol. I now protect my heart like it's under warranty. So yeah, I really do not ship until both partners are on the same page. This is why I could express my disappointment about WooJae's approach in episode 4. Before that, I was rooting for him, and Jimin too. I wanted them to both find love on the show. Don't get me wrong, I still want them to. But after WooJae's competitive streak showed up in episode 4, he literally wore me out and I felt a bit iffy about him. I needed WooJae to step things up and love JiJaeyeon genuinely back, just as much as she likes him too. Now, the real question is, did he redeem himself in episode 5? Is he now actually loving Jane for real, without all that competitive brouhaha, lol? I believe my answer is positive. He did better in episode 5. I will speak about that properly in my next analysis video for that episode. For now, let's dive into all the wild spoilers, the juicy speculations, all the spicy rumors and Instagram detective work surrounding our favorite trio. The first speculation is that WooJae prefers a simple lifestyle and dresses casually. One of the main hints is that he loves wearing sneakers as shown in his photos, especially in this recent photo posted by him. Interestingly, Jaeyeon has also recently been seen wearing similar shoes. So, the theory is that Jaeyeon wearing sneakers like his is a sign they're together, because they now share a similar taste in clothing. However, I noticed WooJae consistently wears Nike after checking his photos. It's rare to find him in any other brand. If this speculation was right, Jaeyeon would likely be wearing Nike as well and not Adidas. Guys, let's be real, this, in speculation land, is basically a breakup, lol. If they really were matching styles out of love, wouldn't she be repping his favorite brand? You know what I mean, right? Like the way couples from other dating shows like WooJaeYeon, from Singles Inferno 4, or Haegwon from Season 3, low-key did. There's also talks that Jaeyeon has toned down her usual high-end fashion to match WooJae's casual style, stating that WooJae wore a beanie with a hoodie and that Jaeyeon wore jeans and a cap to match his style, that they must have been on a date. While this is possible, I'll also like you to consider the flip side. If you look closely, Jimin actually wears jeans far more often than WooJae. He actually matches this style of casual look more. WooJae leans more towards beanies and occasionally wears caps, while Jimin has several photos in baseball caps, especially red ones. From Jaeyeon's post, she's wearing a red cap, something that aligns more closely with Jimin's style than WooJae's. So if we're judging by Instagram, I am still not convinced and I consider this rumor debunked. Next up is the theory about timing. Some fans noticed that WooJae and JiJaeyeon have been posting photos around the same dates. My friend Random Heart pointed out that JiJaeyeon's Instagram is new. Her first post was on February 6, 2025. WooJae posted a day earlier on February 5. JiJaeyeon then posted again on February 12 and April 6, while WooJae followed with posts on February 11 and April 7. Random Heart mentioned this stood out because, according to her, none of the other contestants have posted anything since the beginning of 2025. But when you check, you'll see that Hanuel has been posting, and so has Changwon and Ji-won, although their posting dates are more scattered. If we're using post timing to determine couples, there could be a case to make. But based on previous seasons, final couples usually avoid giving spoilers through back-to-back social media updates. For example, Dongo and Arin from Singles Inferno 4, who barely posted during the show's run. So, while I can appreciate the thought of this theory, it still isn't convincing enough. There's a pattern I've noticed when it comes to how dating show contestants use their social media, especially Instagram. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, because I don't want producers catching on and stopping contestants from doing it, just in case they watch this video. But once I see this pattern, I can usually get a good idea of who might end up together. And based on that, I'm just not convinced by the current theories going around. They don't quite add up. Now, let's talk about Jimin. He's actually the only one who hasn't posted anything on his page yet in 2025, until his recent post in his IG stories. The interesting thing about this is that the uploaded story looks similar to something JiJaeyeon posted on hers just a day earlier. This means they both posted photos of cherry blossoms. Now, does this mean we should assume that he's giving us a hint that he is in a relationship with JiJaeyeon in real life because he matched her post lol? Shouldn't we claim that Jimin was actually the one watching this lovely view with her and not WooJae lol? Moving on. Let me just throw in this last theory of mine as well, since we're all speculating here, right? In JiJaeyeon's latest post, she's in a dark room, wearing a cap and a face mask. At the same time, she's rocking this scandalous sexy skirt just kidding lol, but you know what I mean, she looked really cool. With her face covered like that, she's definitely giving off a date night vibe. You know, like now that people recognize her. Maybe she met up with someone incognito. But why is the background so dark? What is she hiding, lol? One could argue it's because she didn't want to reveal her location and spoil anything. Now, this is where I expected WooJae shippers to be a little more clever. Didn't you guys notice something peculiar? This could be WooJae's new studio. If someone had floated this theory, I'd honestly have a hard time doubting that she's endgame with WooJae. Hear me out. Let's brighten up the photo a bit. The ceiling height, interior, window design, ambience, and wall aesthetic suggest that this might be a cafe, lounge, or studio, but definitely not a regular home. And realistically, I don't see the members going to public places for dates right now, just to avoid spoilers. So the most logical explanation. She was in a studio. And who owns a studio? WooJae, right? So there you go. But it's also worth noting that Jimin often takes pictures in dimly lit settings, and loves dimly lit pictures, and overall, the aesthetic of JiJaeyeon's page feels more aligned with his than with WooJae's. So if we're going by Instagram post vibes alone, who really fits the profile of JiJaeyeon's final choice? The dark themes, the nightlife atmosphere, the styling in her outfits, all of it feels way more in line with Jimin's usual vibe than WooJae's. So again, I'm not saying it confirms anything, but it does make me question the assumptions out there. Just to clarify, I'm not ruling out Jaeyeon and WooJae as a final couple, but the theories about them don't feel that convincing right now. That said, I did notice one cute overlap between them. They both seem to love sunsets. It's a subtle thing, but it's there. WooJae especially has a whole post dedicated to sunsets, though interestingly, Jimin's feed has some of that too. I guess this is just one more thing these three have in common, besides coming from the same province lol. Now on to the new rumor, about more members joining the show. At first, I ignored this, but now it's starting to make sense. A lot of people have been saying that two new people are joining, a woman who is supposedly an accountant and a man who's a barrister and had appeared on another dating show. I didn't pay attention to any of this until now. Look at the show's official poster. If the cast members were complete, a new version should have been released. But we still haven't seen one yet. Why is that? Is it because there are more members coming in? Next is the pairing book theory. Some netizens pointed out that there are still 2 unrevealed pairing books, which could mean 2 more catfish contestants are on the way. Let's break it down. Under Hanol and Jimin, you can see the green, sky blue, white, brown, blue, and dark blue books. Those represent the original 6. Now look at the area next to JiJaeyeon. There's a lime green book for Chaeyoon, and a yellow one for Changwon. It makes sense since they were the 2 new members introduced in Italy. Now look next to WooJae. There's a gap between him and the others. Guys, this is where I got a little swayed by this theory because I've always wondered why WooJae stood so far in the back like that. Like, what's with the huge space lol? Well, this netizens are blowing my mind with their theory, saying that there are 2 more pairing books right there next to WooJae. You guys can see these 2 books yourselves, right? So the question is, are those just props, or are they actually for the new members joining them? What do you all think? If they're real, that means we might be getting 2 more people joining in Seoul. And honestly, it checks out. Some people are arguing that it wouldn't make sense to introduce new catfishes this late, since they'd have missed big parts of the experience like Italy, the initial pairing, the contract dating stage, and that by the time they arrive, everyone would have already bonded. But I've seen plenty of dating shows where surprise contestants show up just days before the end, and still made an impact, so that argument doesn't completely rule it out for me. Now, if someone said, all the other seasons only had 8 people, so why would they switch it up to 10 now? That's a stronger point. But honestly, anything seems possible with this season. Besides, why they added Changwon to the cast without adding a female closer to his age still amazes me, so clearly, not everything is by the book this season. That's why, for the first time, I'm seriously open to the idea that more people might join. So, what do you all think? Do you believe we're getting more members? Do you buy into the Instagram theories about WooJae and JiJaeyeon, or do you think what I've said makes more sense, that it's still anyone's game with my Instagram analysis? Let me know in the comments, I want to hear your theories too. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and like the video.